Right, so it looks like you guys go and loot a vault and...
Nope.
Nope, it was already looted, or?
Yep.
Rip. Unfortunate. Move over to train station, you're in zone now. Are you guys gonna hang in train station or are you gonna keep rotating?
I think
Oh,
there's
okay,
a fight.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right
then
here.
we're gonna chase. Well, I'm gonna chase.
Right here, just this is like a low pressure situation, right? So you approach from high ground, you get the first intel on them because they're shooting, right? They're already in a fight. And this guy's in a terrible position, he's alone. Like, this is a situation where you don't feel very pressured, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right, so as soon as you get the first shot on this guy was nice. But then why are you spamming? There's no pressure on you. You don't even have to strafe.
That's true.
You're making this so fucking hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Why? You could have killed this guy 4 times. Come on. He had cover on the left and he didn't go for it. You should have killed him, Star. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I should have killed him.
You're not under pressure from the enemy team here, and you're putting pressure on yourself. Right? Stand still, slow down your shots, stop strafing. Like, if you're... So you're a little bit too far to the right, but what we were talking about earlier with pathing... Let's go like a little bit back where you can see it. Alright, if you're close enough to this corner or this edge that you can use them as cover, then even if you don't strafe and somebody 180s and starts shooting back at you, the first shot's probably not going to hit because casuals suck. But even if they do hit you, like, you have cover right here and you have high ground, right? So there's really no pressure. Like, unless you're low on heals, there's no reason to put pressure on yourself here. So I definitely would work a little bit on, like, identifying these different pressures as you get more or less advantages. Because you have all the advantages here, so this is just kind of a shame. You still have nice shots, but with your aim, you can do better. That was a nice shot, by the way. Alright. You're passing again, like 3 feet to your left, and you would have had cover the entire time, or at least close enough if you got shot at. Because there's somebody on your right, you knew he had a sideline on you. You saw him like 3 seconds earlier. This pathing is already better. Cover close every time, but it's because you're getting closer to them, right? You're feeling pressure.
Yep.
Nice shots. Again, cover, because good pathing. You're automatically using it. I bet your brain wasn't even processing it. That's just something you do. Alright, good pathing here once again. Now we're... Yep, it's nice. Staying close to the work. I was about to say, now you're going to the left, it's bad pathing again, but you fixed it. You really wanted that kill.
Yeah.
So, going back just a second to talk about pathing, like, not engagement pathing here, but just pathing during the fight. You start healing with the like, you back up when you need to heal. And you back up past the corner, right? And then you don't have to back up further because your teammate smokes and you don't hear them push, so that's all good. Then you start using your battery. So far, like, you felt the pressure from your armor almost being broken. Now you're gonna heal up. And this is all good. You put yourself into a situation where there's no more pressure because you're safe. But then as soon as you start this battery, I think you want kills. Because look at what you start doing when you pop the battery.
Yeah, I saw it.
You're moving forward. And look at how far, like, you know where the edge was, and you know that the smoke is already like half timed out, right? The smoke, once the smoke disappears, you're back to the previous position. So look at how far you expose yourself to 2 opponents here. When you have control of the cover. Like, you had control of this corner, and your teammate's already on a wide peak. So you can put so much pressure from this corner. Like, this is just greed. I do this too, but I also die because I do this, so...
Yeah, I was probably too lazy to destroy the Watson fences, which I should have done.
Which is fine, because you can also just shoot through them. Like, they don't block bullets.
Yeah, but...
They're just mildly annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they are.
It's true.
But at the very least, you could have, like, you were close to the cover for like 0.2 seconds, and that's where you couldn't handle, like, playing safe anymore. Which is just a shame, because I also think you would have gotten those kills faster if you were on this cover, because of the mental aspect of that pressure we were talking about before. Once you move up, once you overexpose yourself here, we start seeing the difference in your aim once you start being under pressure, right? Once you go under pressure, you start shooting faster and your aim goes up. 2 enemies, you know it's 2, you don't know anything about this guy, so you really want to kill, like, you're really focused on this guy because you have him, like, low, which makes sense. But again, spamming, like strafing, even though when you're not being shot at, yes, you're exposed to 2 people, but you're not being shot at. So if you were close to cover, you could have just, you know, quick peeked, taken the shots as slow as you needed to, make sure you hit a headshot, and it's an instant kill. Like,
Yeah.
there was no need to spam this, and you have an R99. Like, 100% certain, if this guy is shooting your teammate, you finish the bat there, you hear that he's about to have to reload, and then you peek from cover where you know you're safe, you would have stood still on 1 magnum. Like, I know you would have. So this is just like another situation where you're putting really unnecessary pressure on yourself when you were going to get those kills anyway. Because you had cover control, you had the aggression, you had the early damage, you had your teammates backing you up, you had both angles covered. Like, there was no way you're going to lose those kills. So here you see them drop down near the biggest piece of cover, so that's good. From here you're covered. Right side rock, pathing, 3 feet of difference, but makes all the difference. Right now as well, right? You're avoiding the rock and this with pathing, like you're going wide, which is a normal habit because it increases visibility. But if you get shot now, you're putting yourself in a panic position again. When there's no need, because you had the early info, so you have the positional advantage, just by default. As long as you stay close to cover. Alright, much better here. Near cover. Wow, free kill. That's the freest kill I've ever seen.
Yep. Hello. Mine. And this is where everything goes pipega.
Yeah, before we even look at what happens here, we're gonna reiterate 2 things, but the first most obvious one is right here in this area, right? This is fuckboy zone. You don't go here. This is ass, Star. What the fuck? Come on, man. I don't have to explain this to you. Look at this giant ass fucking rock. What?
Yeah.
Look at this high ground that nobody took. What?
Yep.
And then, okay, so that's
gonna get worse from here on out.
That's the obvious one. The slightly less obvious one. Okay, so you show up here, you get a free kill, you push up a little bit, and then the caustic gets close. So again, as soon as he gets close, high pressure situation. Right? Like, we know now that you're going to shit on this guy, and no matter how much better than him you are or how confident you are, this is a pressure situation, right? With the guy right in your face shooting you. So as soon as you move to the right here, in my mind, you've fixed your issue right now. As soon as you jump over this fence, you've fixed your issue of being under a lot of pressure, and you're back in a situation where you can dominate. Right? Because you have control. So the fact that you instantly give that up, like, you forego cover, but not just forego cover, then you focus on a down guy. Like, it's only a split second, you fix yourself, but why? Like, none of these actions make sense to me. This entire sequence doesn't really make sense to me.
I think this is where I went. This exact fight is where I went on just autopilot.
Just on autopilot? I think so too.
Yeah. You're gonna see why. Like, the end fight is just super pipega.
Good damage, high pressure situation again. Slower on the shot, so that's better. I think because she's jumping a lot, so you see the opportunity for easier shots. But good armor swap. So far, so good. Pathing, again. Like...
Yes! The rock.
Dude, free high ground. It's free. Free. $0. Alright, this high ground is yours. You can dominate from this position. You've already broken her armor. What are you worried about? You armor swapped and you broke her armor?
Yeah, but she had gold. I didn't know if I was fast enough to, you know.
Well, here's the thing, right?
I should have definitely taken high ground.
Even just forgetting about the positional advantage of high ground in the rest of the fight. Which, it's fine if you don't... Like, you don't need a positional advantage here to win this fight, probably. Because you can out-aim most people. And you had an armor swap that she didn't have. So that kind of cancels out the fast hit. So, in that sense, I'm fine with foregoing high ground here. Because it's not an advantage you need. However, something that you've seen a lot from playing with me is how to effectively run away from people. Right?
Yeah. It's
about keeping in the back of your mind where they're shooting you from. And then blocking line of sight from that. So let's say that this Watson is a giant coward. Which is likely. And as soon as they go around this corner, they don't want you to chase them. Well, what can they do? They can either keep going right around the corner, or they can go up on here. Those are their two options. As soon as he hears you running close to the rock, those are the two things that he might do. So if you go on the left side, you give them more time to heal, and you give them the opportunity to take your high ground, If you go on the right side, then either you contest him on even ground instantly without him healing because he didn't have time, or you're standing above him even if he goes all the way around, because this is a shorter path.
Yeah.
So, regardless of high ground, why are you taking a long and predictable path when you can just stand on his face?
That's true.
Alright, so that's definitely risky. Also, I don't know why you didn't have your R99 out there.
Yeah, this is what actually, you know, fuck with me so hard. I have it on my mouse button.
Oh, no.
And when
Okay.
I got out the wingman, I was, I was so confused. That's why I missed so many shots. I want to tell myself that.
Dude, that genuinely makes sense, because both the position that you put yourself in and pulling out the wrong weapon both put you under enormous pressure. Like, I can never blame you or myself for missing shots when I'm under high pressure, because that's just how our stupid ass bodies work. Your blood starts pumping, your brain starts being an ass, and you can't hit these fine shots. So all this pressure you put on yourself, man, it's such a shame. Right, so you spot them. Left side pathing makes sense because it's high ground and cover. Don't really care that you shot him out in the open there because it was really far, right? So it's really not that scary. It's not like... It's a bit of giving up your advantage because you could have taken high ground over him and seen his teammates. But on the other side, also your teammates would have probably shot him by that time already. I don't think it's really that important. Just that I pointed out. For oh god, why? Why did you drop down? What were you doing? Sorry, you saw one on your right and one on your left.
No!
No. Bro, I don't want to see how this ends.
No,
you do actually path with cover, and then you leave it! You had... Oh my god, stop.
Yeah. The thermite was blocking my view. I wanted to get around.
Yeah, it was blocking your view and also your fucking imminent death. What? Like, you fucked up your position, somebody threw up a thermite, and in my head I'm like, dude, I'm not religious, but thank fucking god that you just got saved from your own mistake. And the first thing you do is run out in the open.
Yeah, but then immediately back at least.
Alright, so now, through the grace of this enemy team's stupidity, you have regained high ground against them.
Yep.
And you've lost the pressure from being exposed to two of them, which you were before.
Yep.
So, low pressure situation, take a good position and just murder them.
Full Pepega.
Why are you ignoring this rock? What?
I'm just going full Pepega. I'm full sending it. This
well, you full send it 3 feet to your right. It's literally the same
speed. Goes in shutdown mode.
There's still a dude here?
Yep.
Oh god.
Yep. Bye bye.
Like, just a split second ago, you saw two opponents. You hopefully knew you fucked up, or at the very least knew that you were under a lot of pressure, that you really need to hit your shots at that moment. Then somehow they back off, so that pressure is off of you. So now you have the opportunity to punish them.
But I'm still on the...
And then you're still focusing on one guy, when you know that there's two here. I don't...
And then totally fuck it up. And actually get shot from 3 sides.
Yeah, you just got blown the fuck up.
And bottom.
Definitely. So, man, I think if just, like, the biggest takeaway from this entire VOD is if you... We're gonna go back all the way to the start. Let's see. Where you land. Right here. If you walked around the map, the way you walk around the map from this very second, you would never have those, almost never, you would eliminate 90% of those stupid deaths. Because you will automatically use cover if you're near it. Right here, you're near cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep moving, stay close to the fence, cover. You know this is unlooted, so you know it's safe because there's no teams nearby, and as soon as you open the door, look around, unlooted, it's safe, but you're still always near cover, right? And it doesn't take any longer. Those rocks, like, those 2 feet to the right will literally not slow you down in this game, luckily. And always near cover. Look at this. Sticking even close to the wall where you cover, right? Like, I know you're going for wall bounces, so that... In fact, you know what? Go for wall bounces everywhere you go. No joke. Go for wall bounces more when you're bored and running around, because it will force you to be close to stuff you can wall bounce off of, which is good cover.
It's true. Okay.
Like, it's
Keep that in
actually
mind.
not even a bad idea. Because when you're practicing your wall bouncing right now, your pathing is fucking magnificent, right?
God bless wall bounce.
If you just moved around like this the entire game, you would have never had that death. Like, there's no way. Alright, so that's I think the main takeaway. And then there's the second takeaway, which kind of feeds into the same point, is don't put yourself under so much pressure, man. Like,
Okay.
identify low pressure situations, look for those moments when the enemy team fucks up and you can punish them. And instead of punishing them, meaning just running blindly after them, just stand above them and shoot them in the face until they die. Because it's gonna be just as fast.
So not necessarily play fights slower,
No,
right?
just path them smarter. Because
Smarter pathing. Okay.
I definitely wouldn't slow down your gameplay. There's one other thing I will add in a little bit, which I kind of saw after the knocks, but I didn't want to do it in between the games. But like, speed is really important when it comes to like beating and overwhelming enemies if you have decent aim, which obviously you have. So keeping up that speed actually like allows you more mistakes, so that's very good. But one thing I do want you to add is in moments like this where you get a knock and you know there's more enemies, the very first thing that I want you to do is leave where you were.
Okay.
And you're gonna notice this from this day forward. Whenever you watch Ace, whenever you watch anyone that's really good, as soon as they get a knock and they know that there's more enemies and they're not sure where they are, they just keep running. And the reason they do it is just so that they reset the information of the enemies knowing where you are and you not knowing where they are. Right? So sticking in this little, let's say this is probably the area where the enemies are looking for you right now. Just instead of shooting him, running back to the other side of the building so that they no longer know where you are, keeps up your momentum, keeps up your reactions, but means that they're going to be looking at this area, and by the time you run around, you're probably looking at their back. Because they're always going to be looking at the downed opponent, unless they hear you.
That's true, yeah.
Right, so this is a very small thing that I want you to add, because if you get that first knock, that's a huge advantage to the rest of the fight, especially in casual. It's a bit different in ranked, where people are less stupid. But so that's just a small thing, like, if you need the armor swap, sure, go for the thirst. But if you don't, just keep running and move around. Or reset the high ground, obviously, kind of depending on the area.
Yeah.
Either one is fine, but you just don't want them to know where you are, so you want to confuse the hell out of them, and then it'll be fine.